Welcome to Auto Marketing Now. On today's show, I'm excited to have Sean Stapleton. He's the CEO of DealerTeamwork. Of course, we're going to have our popular strategy session and email grab bag. So let's get started with today's show.
You're watching Auto Marketing Now. Today's show is brought to you by CDK Global, evolving the automotive retail experience.
I'm excited to welcome to today's show Sean Stapleton. He's the CEO of DealerTeamwork. Sean, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brian.
So Sean, people know you from your successful engagement in the automotive industry. You've built and sold a number of companies. Tell us a little bit about DealerTeamwork. Why did you decide to come back strong in the automotive industry with DealerTeamwork?
Brian, we saw an opportunity to do things a little bit differently. We saw that there was a new change in automotive. The modern customer is changing faster than ever before. We weren't seeing people serving their needs properly. What I mean by that is we see how search is being done, we see how content is being created. We're looking for the word called the relevance. Right? How relevant are these offers, these specials, et cetera, and how does it relate to your customer shopping experience?
Well, Sean, you know, I've been teaching my dealers, talking on the show about the importance of content, the importance of relevant advertising. So I'm so glad that you came on the show because this is the first turnkey solution that I've seen that has addressed a number of the key problems that dealers face. So let's break it out.
Sure.
First of all, we know that dealers are spending more and more on digital. From the last 4 years, if you look at this chart, you'll see that up to today, 66+% is being spent on digital. Sean, what are dealers doing wrong? Because a general manager the other day told me, Brian, it used to be if I spent more money to drive traffic to my website, I sold more cars. Now, I'm spending more, I'm not selling anymore. What are dealers doing wrong?
I think the number one thing, Brian, is that more traffic does not necessarily relate to more business or better business.
That's right.
It's starting to understand what is good quality traffic and how do you generate that? And there's several ways to do that, in my opinion. It comes around merchandising and personalizing your offers and your ads. Are you mobile friendly? Do you have smart, dynamic, responsive landing pages? When customers click on your ads, what do you want them to do?
Right.
Where do they go?
Right.
Is it a end-to-end marketing solution? Does it give them options? Or is it a JPEG image that only you and your boss can see, so you're happy about it? You know, how often do you go to a webpage and there's one offer when you can buy a car 30, 40 different ways? That's illogical to us.
That's right. And I think the biggest problem, as I've talked to dealers, is who has time to build these content pages. Dealers know that relevance is important, but at the same time, they have this practical constraint. Brian, I don't have HTML programmers in my dealership. I can't make 20 pages every month as my specials change. Sean, what has DealerTeamwork done to really solve that key critical problem about relevant content?
You're spot on. We created what's called the MPOP, which stands for Merchandising, Personalization, Optimization Platform. It wasn't built for automotive. It was built for just good digital marketing. Right. And those elements and that structure and that philosophy works very, very well. Give people choices. Let them search for your offers, your specials the way they are today. Mobile is everything, Brian.
Right.
But more importantly, once you get their attention, that's not where the job ends. That's where it starts. Now, how do you convert them into buyers, shoppers, raving fans? And how's your digital marketing connecting you to that?
You know, one of the things that I loved about how simple it was to build an offer, meaning dealers know that in an ideal world, they could have 50, 60 offers based on different body styles, models, trim levels. So let's go through the process. A dealer who wants to create a special and wants to make sure it's relevant, how does the MPOP build out relevant, effective ads?
Great question. We start with an inventory feed. So there's only three things you focus on: the vehicle, the pricing, and the disclaimer. We grab your inventory feed. It's almost 90% done. It's dynamically set up to build the content correctly, make sure the URLs are correct, make sure the tagging's correct. It's a simple step-by-step process that allows you to walk through to increase your quality score. We have a patent pending process that shows you how to build the perfect ad. So it walks you through step by step by step, the content, the vehicle, the disclaimer information, the video additions, etc. And it puts it in a format that performs. Relevancy and structure are critical to the success of an ad. If Google can't understand what you're trying to do, Google can't rank your pages or bring you traffic, can they?
That's right. And the thing that I loved about the whole platform, not just that the MPOP allows dealers to create their own specials without being a technical programmer, but it's building landing pages that are responsive on any website platform. Correct. Meaning your technology plugs into CDK, plugs into dealer.com, plugs into Dealer eProcess, any platform, and gives them unlimited number of dynamic, responsive landing pages with customized offers. Sean, that's just mind-blowing for the average dealer because, well, take a look at their service pages, 4 average pages on a dealer's website for service. Take a look at their new car specials, 1 page with 3 or 4 graphics. What are their used car specials? Maybe 3 or 4 cars. Yet they have, 1,000 cars sitting on their lot.
You're exactly right. Go look at Patera Nissan, for example, in Massachusetts, and go look at the way they have their specials, their landing pages. Look how many different ways we provide a customer to engage with the content that's relevant to their search, not just ours. So whether it's I'm looking for a service special, a used car, a new car, a zero-down lease, a savings, an offer, a buy price, all of those things dynamically represent themselves to the customer based on what they're searching for. The MPOP gives you the ability to increase your relevance by dynamically offering multiple ways to buy, service, and find your products that is specific to how Google wants the game done.
Now, Sean, the other piece, and you know, your team has been pretty vocal about pointing out lukewarm, cookie cutter advertising. One of the other things that dealers need to know, and I've seen this in action, is that you're creating so many different variations of the ad based on what the consumer is typing in, including long tail searches. Tell our viewers today, what can a dealer expect when they set up an ad? Is it going to be the same, boring call to action messages that they're seeing from some big box retailers?
It's just the opposite. What we believe is the more relevant we can make the ads and the offers, the more relevant it is to the consumer, the more relevant it can be to the search engines. So instead of making a milquetoast offer that's one for everybody, how about we make offers that are unique and specialized to what you're searching for, the way you want to buy the car or the way you want to buy a service? Let me give you an example. If I wanted a zero-down lease and I get to your website, your landing page, and it has a $499, $3,500 down, how is that relevant to me?
That's right.
Toyota's out marketing. They have 10 brands right now for zero down or 0 for 60. How come you don't have that all over your website? How come your search engines, that is the perfect bait for the search engines to show them you're offering the same product that customers are looking for. But right now it's a dead-end process, or at best, it doesn't even exist.
Right, so whether the consumer is looking for a discount, a finance offer, a lease offer, a zero-down offer, you're going to look for those keywords that the consumer is typing, present a relative ad in Google search, bring them to a relevant landing page. The biggest problem with most landing pages is they don't look good on mobile. Can you share with us any examples of a dealership's mobile landing pages just to get a feel for the quality that MPOP is delivering?
Sure. How about Lawless?
Okay.
For example, Lawless Chrysler Dodge Jeep out on the East Coast. If you go to their page, you're going to see they built out a model-specific landing page that's smart, dynamic, and optimized for mobile. You're going to see some very unique things there, Brian. You're going to see different ways to navigate and find your inventory with big, easy-to-understand pictures that's both good on desktop and mobile. You're going to see multiple offers. You're going to see multiple trim levels. Why? Because a Jeep Cherokee comes in many different forms.
That's right.
A Jeep Cherokee that's loaded up doesn't cost the same as a stripped down one, right? We even put new and used on the same page. Why? We don't know what you're looking for. Not every person starts search with, I want to buy a new Jeep Cherokee. Maybe they start with Jeep Cherokee.
That's right. And you have to, give them a way to self-navigate through the dealer's inventory. Sean, this platform is helping dealers revolutionize their ads, their landing pages for new and used. Let's move to something that I think is even the bigger greenfield opportunity is service. I mentioned it earlier, the average dealership website has a service appointment page, which is an iframe, zero content, zero searchable value in Google, a service specials coupon page, which is typically 5 or 6 JPEGs that are maybe expired, and maybe the OEM service pledge, maybe a Toyota Care page, 3 pages, 4 pages max. How is a dealer supposed to market oil changes, brakes, batteries, tires, refrigeration, services without content available on their website?
Well, you just explained the problem. Dealers today aren't focusing on how to drive the proper traffic. Traffic is driven by giving people relevant content that matches their search criteria. And what we do, Brian, is we look at thousands and thousands of searches every single month, and we determine how do we optimize it the best for your results. And most of it is by looking at customer behavior and tweaking it based on what they're searching for. You're absolutely right, Brian. We believe a smart, dynamic, mobile-friendly, responsive website, landing page, offers, merchandising, and personalization is critical today to stand out. Look, I love to say this to my dealers. If you want different results, you've got to try something different.
That's right. And the other thing that I'm really excited about is DealerTeamwork has embraced transparency and engagement, meaning PCG has been writing now for months about dealers have to move from quantity metrics to quality metrics, and I really love the fact that DealerTeamwork is embracing our tagging, embracing engagement scoring, because Sean, isn't it true, when you have the right ad that comes up for a consumer's keyword choice and you bring them to the right landing page, it's natural that dealers would expect engagement to increase. Isn't that what you're seeing?
You're exactly right. I believe without transparency, how do we all learn? Our tagline is we make digital marketing easy to understand and use, and we do it in that order. The reason is we're not out to sell anybody anything. We're out to show them the differences. Because with digital marketing, one size does not fit all.
That's right.
And the biggest thing I'm seeing, Brian, you said it beautifully, transparency is basically the beginning of education. And we have nothing to hide. We have a different approach that takes a different way of looking at things, and we're really focused on the modern customer shopping behaviors, the tools they're using, the content they're absorbing, and ultimately, how are they converting? And there are some definite trends we're seeing in the industry that, frankly, other people are just missing.
That's right. And more importantly, I think the reason why your platform is so different than any other choice is, number one, it dynamically generates the right content.
Correct.
It works on any website platform. All of the engagement is tracked in Google Analytics, the dealer's Google Analytics account. The pages are optimized with multiple calls to action, including click to call. And lastly, the design is self-optimizing on engagement. Sean, I don't know any other platform that gives dealers that unlimited content and a dynamic advertising platform in one package.
We've yet to see it. We'd love to tell you we're the smartest people, but clearly everybody knows we're not by now. We're good studiers, and we listen to our dealers. Like prior companies I've had to be successful, it's about listening to your customers' needs and wants. And it was pretty simple to see and look at all of the opportunities out there. We identified that dealers today were not maximizing the use of their transactional data to stand out in search, in organic, and basically in conversion. Because at the end of the day, what are people truly looking for? How much is the car? Can I afford it on a monthly basis?
That's right.
And am I getting a fair deal? Not even the best deal. Right. And I'm seeing this all the time. Brian, we're seeing more and more at the zero moment of truth. The person's on your lot, pulls out their cell phone and checks your competitor's website right there. Well, if your offer doesn't show up, it doesn't matter if you're there or not.
That's
if
right.
I can't find it easy with fewer number of clicks, if it's not optimized for mobile, you're irrelevant. Fair?
That's right. And dealers who have responded to our AdWords research study called Dealerships Deployment of Google AdWords, one of the biggest thing was that they're changing AdWords agencies every 18 months. They're not really sure if AdWords is working. Sean, if a dealer is watching today's show and believes they should have better landing pages and they should have more relevant content and they want more engagement and they want to try your platform, what type of a commitment do they have to make?
Pretty simple. We have a 30-day agreement. Right? We don't really believe in long-term contracts. We believe that our results should speak for themselves. We believe that any dealer that actually even uses our technology and feels they did not get the full level of support, et cetera, I will comp them back the month. Why? At the end of the day, we have nothing to hide. The word transparency is a huge opportunity for us to show people how we're doing things differently. We are not for everybody, Brian. We're for the people that are looking to make a difference and use modern search and modern customer shopping behavior as a way to stand out and differentiate themselves. If you are going to be milquetoast, you're going to get milquetoast results.
That's right. And Sean, I love the fact that really you're aligning your business model with the success of dealers. I know this. As we've looked at thousands of AdWords campaigns, we are seeing some campaigns are so wasteful because the banner or display ad is taking them to a boring page. The offer doesn't match the landing page content, or more importantly, they're sending people to broken pages, which of course seems odd today in 2016 that we still have marketing platforms that are taking people to pages that say, oops, that car's no longer here. That being said, Sean, I want to encourage you to continue being that transparent voice. Dealers are spending hundreds of millions of dollars a year on online advertising. We need to move towards creating higher engagement. We need to be more relevant to consumers. We can't let the independents and other, big money Wall Street companies come in and disrupt our industry. You're providing the tools that dealers need to succeed. Would you make a commitment? Come back on the show next year. I want to see more data on how we're moving the needle to what I would say cookie cutter, generic advertising to more relevant content. Would you come back and share that with us?
I would love it, Brian. I would love it.
Great. Sean, thanks so much for being on today's show.
It's always great to see you, and please keep educating the industry.
And now for today's strategy session. Sean Stapleton visited with us today and told us about their platform, which is increasing the relevance of advertising campaigns that dealers operate by creating dynamic content on the landing pages to create more engagement. I want to stop for a moment and talk to you about how do we measure engagement. If you look at your average AdWords agency report, your campaign report is going to look something like this. It's going to be how much you spent, how many people clicked on your ads, how many seconds they were on your website, maybe how many pages they viewed, and how many conversions were generated. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to minimize conversions because you need to be maximizing those phone call opportunities, those leads, those chats, those text messages. We've spoken about that before. But only about 10% of your website traffic converts. That means 90% of all the visitors to your website, 90% of all the clicks that are generated by your paid advertising don't disclose who they are. So how do you measure engagement? Is it more time on site? Not necessarily. Is it more pages that people view? Not necessarily. We need to be aligning engagement scoring with what matters the most. For example, do you know on your AdWords used car campaign how many of those visitors looked at photos of the most? For example, doesn't it make sense? Wouldn't you believe if the pages that you were taking consumers from your advertising were to sell used cars? Wouldn't you want to know how many people looked at photos? How many people played your walk-around video? How many people clicked on a trade-in evaluation button? How many people clicked on a finance or finance specials button or the payment calculator? Ladies and gentlemen, think about this for a moment. There are so many different ways to target consumers online. There's so many different ad combinations. And of course, then our landing pages, which Sean talked about today, really need to look great and they need to be dynamic and flexible. But do you know what people are doing on your landing pages? PCG has been pioneering the use of Google Tag Manager to create a unified set of engagement metrics. That's right. If you want to, well, take your advertising to the next level, if you want to see how engaged consumers are on your website from your ad campaigns, you have to start measuring things like, did they scroll down the page? Did they look at the photos on mobile or desktop? Did they play a video? Did they click on the specifications tab? Did they engage with one of your trade-in or finance tools? Ladies and gentlemen, it is time we moved away from cost per click, click-through rate, time on site, and number of pages per session. They have nothing to do with quality and engagement. And companies like DealerTeamwork are very transparent because they know that by creating relevant content for relevant ads, engagement will increase, and that's what we're finding as well. So if you're interested in getting your website upgraded with Google Tag Manager engagement scripts, just reach out to me at this email address below, brian@pcgmailer.com. I'll send you some information on how your website and your marketing reports could be re-energized to focus on quality, to sell more cars in a digital age. And that's today's strategy session. And now for today's email grab bag question. A digital marketing manager wrote in to ask, Brian, I understand that Google Tag Manager can be used to track engagement on my website, but are there any limitations to what Tag Manager can see? Well, this was a great question, and I was holding it off for this show because Tag Manager is extremely powerful, but it still has its limitations. Let me explain a few. If you're using a pop-up coupon system or an incentive program like AutoHook, if you're using a pop-up trade-in form like eAutoAppraise, those applications are not native to your website. They're either an iframe on a website page or popping up in a completely different browser session. As a result, your Google Analytics does not see the activity on that incentives form or on that trade-in tool. There is a way in which third parties can contribute, and in fact they are. The PCG Engagement Project is working with great companies like AutoHook and eAutoAppraise and CarNow and Dealer Inspire, Dealer eProcess to take their third-party applications and actually register Google engagement events in the dealer's analytics. Let me give you an example. Let's just say you have a chat platform. When that chat box comes up and a consumer goes back and forth, that's actually a good event. Every time a consumer hits send, they're communicating with your team. Using Google Analytics, these third-party chat companies can fire those engagement events in Google Analytics. Even though Tag Manager can't see it, those companies can help you and will, if asked, by generating supplemental Google events that Tag Manager can't see. In fact, that's exactly what PCG is doing, is working with third parties all around the country to create a unified set of engagement metrics for your website. Tag Manager can take care of most activities that consumers do on your website except framed or third-party tools, and together we can work to register all of those events in Google Analytics through Tag Manager and third-party injection of events. Thank you so much for asking that question. It's important for today's conversation. And if you would like to submit a question and we use it on the show, I'll send you a free copy of my latest book, Mastering Automotive Digital Marketing. It's being used at Northwood University to train the next generation of automotive professionals, and it's a great tool for your digital strategy library. Thank you so much for watching today's show, and I'll see you next week on Auto Marketing Now.